The first blow, a colony in ashes. The alien fleet arrived without warning. On the distant world of Vespera 4, a human colony of 50,000 farmers and engineers was reduced to ash within hours. The skies turned black as plasma lances struck soil and steel alike. Children huddled in bunkers, only to be vaporized as orbit-to-ground bombardment punched through rock and metal. The attackers were the Salith Dominion, a coalition of proud reptilian empires who believed themselves arbiters of galactic order. Their envoys had long sneered at humanity, reckless expansion, and primitive aggression. Now they made their judgment final, execution by fire. The Salith commander broadcast a single chilling message across the galaxy. Let Earth remember, empires that rise too quickly must be broken before they threaten the balance. The galaxy listened and waited. The mockery of diplomacy. The Salith expected petitions, protests, and apologies. They expected humanity to bow. Instead, Earth fell silent. No ambassador's rebuttal, no plea for peace, just silence. Weeks later, in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Concord, alien diplomats gathered. Tall insectoids clattered their mandibles in amusement. Avian delegates preened feathers, whispering that Earth was civilized but weak. The Salith envoy stood before the chamber, gloating. Humans have no claws, they have no fangs. They hide behind treaties, behind laws, behind their fragile colonies. If they want answers, let them crawl here and beg. The chamber erupted in laughter. And then Earth answered the summons. But not with a delegation, not with a council. They sent a single man. The arrival of the Marine. The chamber hushed when the doors thundered open. A lone figure stepped inside, broad shoulders, a scar across his cheek, eyes that carried storms. No entourage, no advisors, no guards, just one human in a black dress uniform, ribbons and steel glinting beneath the chamber's cold light. The Salith envoy spat. "This is your response, one soldier." The Marine didn't bow. He didn't speak immediately. Instead, he placed a small hollow projector on the central dais. It flickered to life, displaying images of the charred ruins of Vespera 4. Families turned to shadows, burned into walls, fields scorched to glass. The Marine's voice carried like a blade cutting stone. "You wanted answers, here they are." The chamber fell into silence, the weight of his words pressing like gravity. The silence before the storm. For days after that meeting, Earth said nothing more. Alien intelligence networks scrambled. Was humanity broken? Were they too stunned to retaliate? The Salith grew bold, mocking openly. "Humans are bark without bite," they said. "They send a soldier to posture because they lack armies to deploy." The galaxy's analysts nodded in agreement. Earth's fleets were vast, yes, but they had been dormant for decades. Surely they would not risk open war with half the galaxy watching. But they had misunderstood the silence. Human silence was never weakness. It was the inhaled breath before the shout. It was the shadow before the lightning. The breaking of the seal. The first reports came from deep space arrays. Stars vanished, blotted out by silhouettes. Ships, thousands of them, sliding from dark space in perfect silence. Dreadnoughts the size of cities, their hulls black as obsidian. Carrier groups bristling with fighters like swarms of hornets. Earth had answered, not with words but with war. Comms across the galaxy ignited with a single coded transmission, carried in every tongue. Operation Vengeance is authorized. And with it, the galaxy understood. Humanity had not come to debate, they had come to erase. The hammer of Earth. The Salith stronghold whirled, Drachma Prime, burned within hours. Human fleet formations moved with surgical precision, striking orbital platforms and defensive grids as if they were fragile toys. Kinetic rods fell from orbit, each one detonating with the force of a small sun, ripping mountains from their roots and boiling seas to steam. Salith warfleets surged to meet them, proud, vast, battle-tested. But against Earth's wrath they shattered. Every human warship bore names carved in steel: Vespera's Revenge, Ashes of Silence, Widowmaker's Oath, the Answerer. Each salvo was delivered with cold precision. No rage, no mercy, only inevitability. The Salith screamed across comms, their bravado collapsing into panic. Stop, we yield, we. But humanity had waited too long to be mocked again. The Marines' warning fulfilled. Back in the conquered chamber, alien diplomats watched the broadcasts in horror. The Marine stood once more at the dais, his uniform untouched by dust or ash, as fleets turned planets into graves. "This," he said, pointing to the burning worlds on the holofeed, "is the answer you demanded." The insectoid delegate, once laughing, now trembled. The avian dignitary hid her beak in her feathers. The Salith envoy collapsed to his knees, begging, "You can't, you must not. You will unmake our people." The Marine's gaze was iron. "You unmade ours first." The retribution complete. The war lasted only 5 days. Entire Salith sectors went dark, communications severed by EMP storms and orbital bombardments. Survivors fled into deep space, leaving cities abandoned, fleets adrift, and billions whispering the same truth: Earth's vengeance had no limits. On the 6th day, the human fleets halted. Not because they were beaten, not because they tired, but because the point had been made. The galaxy stared into the silence of broken empires, understanding at last: when Earth sends a Marine, it is not a gesture, it is a warning. The aftermath, whispers in the dark. In the wake of fire, the galaxy fell quiet. Ruins smoldered where proud capitals once stood. Survivors gathered in scattered fleets, whispering prayers not to gods, but to the hope that humanity would never look their way again. In shadowed bars and hidden chambers, the phrase was repeated like scripture: "Never provoke Earth again." The Marine returned home without ceremony, without applause. His mission had never been honor nor glory, only balance, only vengeance. The legacy of fear. Centuries would pass, and alien children would ask their parents why stars seemed dimmer in certain skies. Their parents would tell them, those were Salith suns. They burned too close to humanity's fury. In diplomatic circles, Earth would forever be addressed first, with voices trembling, every treaty signed in careful ink. And when whispers of rebellion stirred, someone would always murmur, "Remember the Marine." Closing words. The galaxy demanded answers. Earth gave them war. And when it was finished, nothing remained but silence, and the dreadful truth that humanity's patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite.